Hello, hello, hello. Hey, what's up, guys? I feel like it's been a long time no see, but that's only because I have not finished or even started editing my last vlog. And so I'm starting this next one, before I even finish the last one, which is kind of weird and crazy, but life has been extremely weird and crazy lately. First of all, I'm Brooke, if you have never seen me before. And recently we moved to Orlando from Austin, and I've been going through a lot of I'm a nurse, and so I've been going through a lot in like career fatigue or burnout or whatever. And so if you have seen any of my other videos about, my whole process and things that have happened and all this, then I've struggled because when we were in Austin, I did not get a labor and delivery job. I do postpartum and women's services or whatever, but I did not get the job that I wanted on my last unit, which was extremely discouraging for me to have to go through. And so that kind of pushed me into going and finding a new hospital, finding a new job, because at that point it was pretty darn clear that that opportunity wasn't going to be available to me at that hospital. And so there's just times when you have to just be like, yep, that's it, that you kind of see your value towards that unit or that company or whatever. And so anyway, I applied and got this job here in Orlando. And when I got here, it was just there's just statewide, everywhere is dealing with staffing issues, and unfortunately it was really difficult, and it's still, I think there's still some issues, but staffing postpartum in a lot of places. And so I kind of got stuck in postpartum for longer, mother baby for a lot longer than the plan was supposed to be for. It was supposed to be okay, this is temporary, let's get you here and let's get you doing mother baby for a second, and then you'll be transitioning over to labor and delivery. Well, we got here in September, and I'm just now going over to labor and delivery. And I know I talked through my year goals and all of those things about switching careers because of just how burned out I feel, and all these different feelings that I've had ever since that whole thing happened in Austin. And so anyway, I'm getting to this update, which is why I have just been so incredibly busy. I had been orienting, new nurses, and I had the best student nurse these last few weeks. So I've been doing a lot on our unit at work, and then now I am just now going over to a program. It's called STAR, and if you're a nurse, you're familiar. It's basically a nurse residency, which is funny because I have over 5 years of experience now as a nurse, so it's kind of interesting to be in a residency program, which is usually geared towards new grads. But because our unit has a lot of travel nurses, let's just be honest, that's just the way that the hospitals are right now. It's not just my hospital. The resources to give you a full orientation as an experienced nurse and as an experienced postpartum nurse is just better when you can have some classroom time and really be able to go onto the floor and be ready to go. So all of that to say, I just started the STAR-RN program for labor and delivery this week. It's currently Wednesday, the 23rd of March, and I started on Monday, and a lot of it, like, you know, whenever you start everything, it's really a lot of review over some basic knowledge and skills and things like that. So it's, you know, it is what it is. It's the first week, and so next week I'll be doing a lot of stuff from home, which will be kind of nice to not have to go into work. Oh, excuse me. But I am finished for the day. It's 5:18. I just got back to our apartment, and I think I'm gonna go get on the treadmill and run, because also with just how insane and crazy it's been, I have been so bad with this round of E2M. And so I have really been struggling. The kids had spring break last week, which really did not help at all. I'm gonna go run. I need like a nice little decompression. I need a nice little, like, turn off my brain, do something physically active kind of thing right now. So I'm gonna go do that, and Kurt actually already has the kids like bathed and ready for bed pretty much, which is crazy because it's only it's not even 5:30, so yay for that. But yeah, we're starting this vlog. I really don't know where it's gonna go, to be honest. Like, it is just, there's so much going on that it's just really difficult to be able to sit down and edit and film and do all of these things that I really want to do. So we're gonna go to the gym. We're gonna do something physically active. Okay, so I am home from running. Obviously, I've already taken a shower and gotten ready for bed, put the kids down and everything. And I am gonna be eating out of my window. But I am just gonna make a little cabbage and sausage, really quick and easy meal. The sausage will not be E2M appropriate. We don't really have a whole lot of options for like good sausage that doesn't have other stuff in it, but this is like a turkey kielbasa, like the Genie-O from any grocery store. So that's what I'm gonna throw in there, and that's what I'm gonna have for dinner. Maybe some nuts, but honestly I'm just really not that hungry. So I just wanted to show really quick. I have my sausage all cut up, and I have made one of these like prep meals in one of my meal prep videos for E2M, or I don't really want to say it's for E2M, but a meal prep video where I did some cabbage and sausage. And the sausage, because we were in Texas, there's a lot more options there. It was actually on plan. It didn't have any sugar or anything like that in it. It was really good. It had like jalapenos in it. Delicious. So I just kind of like steam this down a little bit and then add in the sausage, and I'll do a little bit of salt and pepper, and then that'll be good to go. That's what I'm gonna have for dinner. Again, it's not 100% on plan, and I am eating outside of my window. It's almost 8:15 at night, but you know what? This is just the reality, you know, when you're doing your best, you know. I did run for an hour, surprisingly, and I talked about it in the last video about maybe doing, I ran an hour, and I talked a little bit in the last video about like doing a video on how to run for anyone that like has wanted to be a runner, but you don't really know where to start or how how to do it, your form and things like that. I do want to make a video about that. But anyway, so yeah, I think that'll be it for tonight. I have classes first thing in the morning at 8. So I'm gonna eat something really quick and then I'm done. I'm cooked. So I'll check in later. Good afternoon, guys. So obviously it's the next day. I'm actually on my lunch break from my little Star RN program. So I ran out really quick because me and my meal planning was not so great. I did have enough of the leftovers from last night, that cabbage and sausage that I could have brought, but I decided to leave it for Kurt just in case he wanted to eat that today for lunch. But anyway, I'm on my lunch break. I went to Arby's and just got a salad. But I wanted to talk really quick about this program, and I would highly encourage any nurse going into specialty to ask your hospital if they offer a program, because they have them for everything. Either, you know, they have the emergency room, they have ICU, they even have med surge, and of course labor and delivery and mother baby. So I would highly recommend everybody that wants to go and specialize to go in it, no matter whatever you're going into, because it's just an expansion from your nursing school knowledge for the first part, and then you get into, like, you deep dive into your actual specialty. But it's been, obviously, as a nurse, an experienced nurse, like this first week is a little bit repetitive because, you know, you pretty much after 5 years have a decent grasp on patient care. And so a lot of it is repetitive, but I'm reminded through the class, like, there are new grads, there are people that have never had experience with newborns or, you know, anything like that. So it's a really good program so far. I mean, of course, like I said, it's a little bit repetitive for me, and it's a lot of kind of lecture time right now, not as much hands-on, which is the way I learn best, is hands-on nursing. But I'm super excited. I mean, I feel like I'm just like so bipolar on where I'm at with nursing, where I'm at with this career, and you know, here we are. This is today. This is, you know, what's going on right now, and I'm rolling with it. There is talk of, you know, at some point a NICU coming in, because at this moment our hospital does not have a NICU, and so there's, you know, talks of that happening, and I'm just the type that I want to know everything. I want to know the full circle. You know, right now I take care of babies and moms. You know, we're about to go into the labor aspect, you know, up until delivery, and then, you know, I just constantly need to be stimulated if I'm going to stay interested in something. And so I've already talked to my manager, like, at that point, like, you know, depending on where I'm at with all this, you know, because like I said, I'm like hot and cold, but that's also something that I would be interested in doing, just to have like encompass the full experience of the whole women's services, you know, newborn, everything. So, you know, this is me, baby. Like, constantly just looking for the next thing, I think, not feeling settled, needing to constantly, like I said, just have that mental stimulation in order to feel successful, or like feel like I'm still progressing through life and, you know, this nursing career. So yeah, that's me. I just wanted to say really quick, like, I just highly recommend, I know lots and lots of nurses go straight to the floor for their orientation, but I do think sometimes in orientation things can, I mean, and that's also for me orienting other people, lots of different things can happen, and, you know, your preceptor can have all kinds of crazy stuff happen, and, you know, you can have like a nice, good foundation by getting in the classroom and, working with, didactic, hands-on with the mannequins and things like that. And so you may feel a level of preparedness before you get into, especially these like high intense places. Like you want to have like a good foundation when you're going into any nursing, really, but especially a specialty, ICU, ER, labor and delivery. I think it's very important to take that time, take that opportunity. Even if you are 5-7 years, there's a nurse that is in the class and she's been a nurse for like 20 years. And so sometimes it's just good to get that refresher, especially if you've been out maybe for a little while, or, like I said, going into a new specialty. But there's your little nursing with Brooke today. So yeah, those are my thoughts. That's what I'm thinking. Also, my joints are pretty darn sore after that run last night. I woke up and really I feel it in my joints a lot, and getting older is rough. So I think I need to maybe start taking like a turmeric or some kind of supplement for my joints, like omegas and stuff like that, just so I can make sure that I'm taking care of them. Because if you know anything about running, as good as it is cardiovascularly, joints and with your shins, it can be really hard to run. It can be hard on your body, hips, really from your hips down. So got to take care of those bodies, make sure that we are not only working taking care of our heart, but we have to make sure that we're taking care of all of it, because we need it all to keep on moving through this life. So there you go. There's your your running and recovery advice from Brooke today as well. If I didn't mention, it is now Thursday, the 24th, and tomorrow I will be doing my classwork from home. It'll be computer-based, so I'll check in perhaps after this class is over. So just kidding, it's just me. I do have a face mask on, and it is Honest Company Prime Perfect face mask. I'll insert which one it is actually, but today is my first day kind of home without all the kids and all that, so those are my days I use to kind of do face mask and really do some pampering of sorts. So got me a little face mask on, and now I'm gonna just start. I mentioned yesterday how I'm gonna be doing some home work from home stuff for the class I'm in, so I'm gonna get started on that. But I just went to the gym. I put a little clip of me stretching, which is super important. When I mentioned yesterday about being sore in my joints, that's because I'm not taking as good a care when it comes to stretching as I should be. So spent some time doing some stretching, and then I ran for an hour and did a little bit of lower body. So I am spent as far as being done with my physical activity for the day. So felt really good to get that done first thing in the morning. So now I'm just gonna eat. So I'm gonna eat a Caesar salad, and I wanted to mention that because I talk about E2M a lot, and I wanted to say, because I get a lot of comments in person, and I've had comments on YouTube as well, and Instagram. But a lot of people are like, well, I can't do intermittent fasting, or like I can't exercise, or I can't eat this or that or whatnot. And I think the biggest takeaway from E2M is that it's a process, right? So like if one round you can only pick up one new habit, then that's great. Like for me, it's super easy to drink just black coffee, and it's easy for me to intermittent fast at this point. Sometimes I do go after the time, but that's usually because like some days at work I don't even get to start eating until 2 or 3 o'clock, so it's still technically 8 hours if you're a nurse, so it kind of balances out. But just it's making small changes all the time. You're not going to be perfect all the time, and that's not the point. The point is to make healthy changes to make you feel better, and to gradually add something else. So your first round you learn how to intermittent fast, or you learn how to get your body moving for 30 minutes a day. It's about making progress. It's not about being perfect. And so for me, like I like the meal plan, because the whole point of the meal plan when you're starting out is for rapid weight loss, so that you continue on the journey. It's like the reward system, and so I kind of tweak things. Actually I want to have a baked potato too, just because the runner in me, it is also part, like having carbs is really good after you've done especially a long distance run. And so it's finding a balance in what works for you, and about making changes. You're going to get out of it what you put into it, So if you're following the diet plan, you're following the exercises at 100%, you're going to see drastic results quickly. If you were just exercising, you're still going to get results. I know for a lot of people, they just do the exercising and not the meal plan, or vice versa, or they just follow the meal plan and don't do any of the exercises, and they still get results. They're not going to have the same results as someone who's doing both 100%. So for me, I really try not to focus so much on losing weight. I really try to focus more on feeling better about my body, and feeling like confident, and fitting into clothes that I want to wear. Things like that are really what drive me. It's not about a number on the scale. Especially if you're taller or you're shorter, that those numbers just don't really necessarily make sense. You hear like someone's 130 pounds and you're like, dang, I want to be 130 pounds. But that may not be right for your body type. So just remember, like, you're doing great. If you just got out and moved your body for 20 minutes a day, went on a light walk, that is awesome, and that should be something that you celebrate. And don't compare yourself to other people. Don't compare your workouts or how much you can do. You know what I mean? Just don't compare yourself. There's no point in it. All it's gonna do is discourage you, and then you're just not going to want to do any of it when you're discouraged. So anyway, I just wanted to say that if you did one thing in E2M that you didn't do before E2M, or any fitness workout program, meal plan, whatever, if you just changed one habit, that's awesome. That's a new healthy habit. So you're doing great, and I'm here for you. If you need a cheerleader, that's me, baby. I'll be your cheerleader. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get started on my little work from home stuff, and then I'll check in just a little bit. Okay, so an interruption into, oh shit. Why is it still saying 0? 0 0 minutes are left on this car. Okay, so I was in the car trying to start this, but technical difficulties with my SIM card. But my day was interrupted once again from daycare because of Lane. So I haven't talked very much because I'm still, gosh, and I'm probably gonna get emotional. Just right here. But, jeez, it's so ridiculous. Oh gosh, okay. So, for the last couple of months, we've been dealing with biting at daycare. And this is a behavior that she learned at daycare. And so it is really difficult. It's just really difficult to deal with. If you've had issues with a child that bites, please give me some tips on what you did. Sorry, this is so crazy. But anyway, so today she so ridiculous. In the grand scheme, it is so not a big deal, but it's hard. I struggle with how much the internet can just potentially be such a cruel place. So I struggle with how much is too much sharing or but so ridiculous. But anyway, Lane was officially removed from daycare today. It's so crazy. Honestly, this is probably the best thing because I've noticed ever since we started getting these phone calls and all these incident reports that really it probably wasn't going to be a good place for her to stay at anyway. She did so good when she started. Oh man, this is ridiculous. I'm so sorry. But she did so good. She bonded so well with. Oh man. Oh my gosh. She bonded so well with her first teacher. Oh my gosh. She bonded so well with her first teacher and was super happy with her progress because to me she has been a little bit delayed in her language. And it's not really delayed, it's just she's developed differently. All of our kids just has developed certain things. Oh my gosh. She's developing at a different rate than our other kids. They all develop differently. I'm not really super concerned, but like, I just started to notice so many changes. And then they switched her over to the older class, like the next step. And I mean, I could just tell, like, she struggled a little bit more with, like, the teacher. She wasn't as excited. Like, when we started, like, once she, like, really bonded with her previous teacher, like, she loved it so much. Like, and that's all that's all you really want for your kid. You want them to go to childcare or, like, wherever away from you and, like, be successful and be happy and excited. And, like, she was. And then once she switched over, like, I could see a little bit of a change. She wasn't as excited. I mean, she still went, and she's never been a child to cry, like, when you drop her off anywhere. She's, like, no stranger danger at all. But, I mean, she did become more hesitant, like, where she wasn't just running into class and, like, immediately, you know, just, you know, happy that she was there. So, anyway, it's been, like, a couple of months. Like, she learned, like, some kid bit her, and that was, like, in her 1-year-old class or whatever. Once someone bit her, like, then it was just, like, from that point on, like, that, like, we've just had to try and figure out, like, what to do, because then she started biting the kids at home. And so, like, you know, it's hard. You can't really redirect a 2-year-old. They don't really know. I mean, they're learning what is right and what is wrong, but it's really difficult, especially when you're not there, and then they call you to come and pick them up, when it's like, how am I don't, like, you cannot redirect them, you know, after the fact. And so it's been a couple of months now where it's just, like, interrupts, you know, mine or Curtis's work day. Like, you know, it's like, you just can't leave your job all the time for things that, to me, are not emergencies. It's like a normal, and I have talked to our pediatrician and the pediatric dentist about this, and it's just such a normal part of toddler development that when you do, like, approach it and you're dealing with it, it has to be done at that moment. Like, everybody has to be on the same page. So, like, I can redirect her and, you know, explain to her not to do things whenever she's home with us. Like, if she bites, you know, one of the other kids, I can redirect her at that point. But when you're asking me to, when you're asking me to leave work to come and pick her up, I mean, it's already done. The situation is already over, you know. And I noticed that, like, when we tell her before we drop her off, like, no biting, we don't bite our friends, then it seems like those are the days that she really, really struggles. Yeah, that's your pretzel. Those are the days that it seems like it happens first thing in the morning. And I mean, there's definitely, like, a staffing issue, just like everywhere right now. And, like, I get that. But some of the things that they were saying, it's like nobody was paying attention and nobody was watching some of these behaviors, you know. And anyway, I'm not gonna, like, I already just kind of had my meltdown, and Curtis and I kind of had, like, our bitter, like, angry moment, and it's not appropriate for the channel, or, you know, what I want to put out there. But it's really difficult. Like, anytime that anyone anytime that anyone, you know, kind of, like, basically, you know, in your head as a parent, like, feel like someone is like, I don't know. It's so hard to explain, but like, you don't ever want there to be something like wrong with your child, or like, you don't ever want to like think about people or whatever, like something being wrong, right? Or like thinking about your child, and you just don't want any like negativity. You just don't really want to like think about, you know, your child struggling or all this stuff. Anyway, I feel like I am such a hot mess. It's really, really difficult. And it, you know, the funny thing about it is I was actually a child that bit. None of our other children have ever had this issue. So we've never like had to deal with it before. And so like, this is all so new. And of course it's like the fourth and last child. She's been the problem child since utero. But so we're like, we just struggle with what to do and like how to help her. Like, we've bought the books and we've like had conversations, and at the end of the day, she's only 2 years old, so there's only so much that she understands. And geez, I'm so sorry about all this. There's only so much that she understands and gets about all of it. So it's just really stressful. And thankfully Curtis, I haven't talked about, like, he actually just got a new job, and so his hours are going to be changing, so it gives us like a bit of a buffer. This is so ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Hey, give me this. Do you want some water? It gives us a little bit of a buffer to figure out like what we do next. But you know how it is when you find a daycare, like it's like a unicorn, you know, when you find a daycare and like a good daycare that you can start right away. So anyway, I just wanted to come on. If you're a parent that has a child that has struggled, or you're or you're going through something similar, welcome. It is so ridiculous, like how emotional this makes me. But that was a quick turn of events today. So I am not done my home assignments for this class that I was supposed to do. I got started, and then like literally like 10 minutes in, we had to go pick up our child from daycare that she is now removed from. So super fun, super great afternoon. But anyway, I'm gonna stop crying and talking about this. Leave me some suggestions down below. Like, what in the world? Like, what do I do? And then, like, what was your experience? Because now I realize when my mom used to say, like, you know, she would always warn me, like, okay, you may have a child that bites just like you did. I think I got removed from like multiple daycares. So in that aspect, like, you know, I realize it happens, and I realized, yeah, I realized that it's common, and people want to send their kids to daycare too without biting, even though like that's just not something that I concern myself with personally, because like I don't know if it's the nurse inside of me, but
I just know it's a normal part of development, and she's 2. It's not like she's out there bullying and picking on kids and hurting them on purpose. Like, she just really doesn't understand that she's hurting somebody else. And so, anyway, enough about that. So, I feel like that was so sad and depressing to add to this video, but this is real life. This is just like one of those parenting things that we're currently going through. And again, like, I'm constantly struggling with how much of my kids to, like, how much of them to be, like, put into these videos, you know, because, you know, they're their own people, and, you know, yeah, whatever. But yeah, that's currently going on with Lane. And we did just take her to the pediatrician and the dentist, but they're all healthy. And, you know, we talked about any issues that any of our kids have, and everyone is developing, you know, the way that they're supposed to. Everyone, you know, every child has their own timeline. So again, when it's like what I was saying earlier about comparing yourself when it comes to like making healthy changes and things like that in your life, it's the same for your kids. Like, don't compare your kids to other kids or even your other kids, because they're all so different. Every single one of our kids is completely different. Each one has their very own like specific struggles and things that are different, things that are different about every single one of them, and that's what makes them so special. Is just how different. And yeah, so don't compare your kids to other kids. If you're struggling through a season with your kids, I mean, each one of mine is in a different season that has some serious struggles, for sure. But yeah, you're not alone. I'm here, baby. I am so here. And I would love, like, anyone that really wanted my perspective or like thoughts on anything about kids. I would definitely be open to talking about more issues and things like that. But I am also just trying to be more positive, on which like I've said it a million times, I'm actually quite a positive person. I'm quite an optimistic person. So I really like to keep all of this space like lighthearted and optimistic, but you know, I've definitely had other videos, you know, especially when it came to jobs and things like that, it's just not positive. Your life is just not always good. Your life is not always positive. There's always struggles, and you know, social media has a way of putting blinders on real life. So yeah, if you want to chat more about kids and parenting things, please let me know. Let me know down below, because I know like a lot of our stuff is, you know, theme parks and some health and fitness, travel, things like that. But I love vlogs and I love sharing. I mean, these are about to be 2 back-to-back vlogs. It's TMI. Oh gosh. Anyway, so anyway, yeah, that's my update right now. My other kids will be home in about an hour, and so I'm not sure what we're gonna do tonight. I have planned to go to Universal because my brother's birthday was just a couple weeks ago, and just with my schedule, I haven't been able to, get him his birthday gift, and I haven't been able to put it in the mail or send it or anything like that. And so I am getting him something from Universal and I need to go and get it because I'm just so slack on like all of life right now. But I need to go get that, and I need to get it in the mail and sent to him, because before I know it, he's gonna be another year older, and I'm gonna have been like a super slack sister. I'm terrible. I'm really terrible at these things when like I'm far away and I have to like mail things out. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so that's my plan. Maybe when the kids get here, I don't really know. Curtis had to go to the doctor. I don't know if he's going back to work after that or not. So we'll see what happens later on this afternoon. But I hope you're having a great day and you don't have a biter of a kid, because she stresses me out.